What's up, Dragon Riders? John Murphy here with another How to Train Your Dragon video. The Hidden World is about to be released in the US, and it promises to be an epic conclusion to this decade-long franchise full of great moments, both joyful and heart-wrenching. The entire series as a whole has had a lot of great moments that made us laugh, cry, and had us on the edge of our seats. But which ones are the best ones? Well, today, I'm gonna be looking at the 10 best of the best moments from the first two films. The ones that contributed to the story, the plot, the characters, had the best music, best cinematography, and just all around exemplifies great filmmaking. So grab your flight suit and let the wind carry us to the sky! This is the top 10 best How to Train Your Dragon moments. Starting the countdown at number 10 is the intro to the first movie, known as This Is Berk.
It's 12 days north of hopeless and a few degrees south of freezing to death. It's located solidly on the meridian of misery.
Establishing the beginning of your story is critical to writing, and How to Train Your Dragon laid a majority of the groundwork in 10 minutes without it feeling like info dumping. Accompanied by Hiccup's sarcastic narration, we're shown who our protagonists and main characters are, their status and relationships, and what the main conflict is, as well as Hiccup's intelligence. Another thing that makes this scene memorable is John Powell's score that this sequence is edited to. It's neither overpowering nor bland in the background and helps add to the establishing tone of the film, that it was used once again with subtle changes in the dragon racing sequence in movie 2, which we're gonna put at a 10.5. When it comes to How to Train Your Dragon, this sequence is its best foot forward. Number 9, The Book of Dragons.
Everything we know about every dragon we know of.
This sort of reminds me of the times I would do homework in a quiet room. Nothing but me, my thoughts, and a pen and paper. And this scene not only captures that feeling, but creates a very tense atmosphere around it as well. As Hiccup continues to browse through the book, he no longer keeps reading, and the images begin to move. Whether it's a trick of the candlelight or his imagination running wild remains ambiguous. And just like its book counterpart, the manual mostly says one thing.
Extremely dangerous, kill on sight. Extremely dangerous, kill on sight. Extremely dangerous. Kill on sight. Extremely dangerous, kill on sight, kill on sight, kill on sight.
It reaches a high point when he comes to the mostly blank Night Fury page. With his experience still fresh in his mind, Hiccup decides to investigate further.
Hide and pray does not find you.
It may not be Don Bluth levels of scary, but this dark scene effectively closes the first act of the movie. Number 8, See You Tomorrow. A little montage, once again brilliantly edited to another great track by John Powell, that shows us the trial and error Hiccup goes through in restoring Toothless's flight, but also using what he learned from him to do well in dragon training. Much to the resentment of Astrid. This whole sequence is just fun. The music is fun, seeing Hiccup fail is fun, seeing him improve on his failure is fun, Toothless's reactions are fun, even Astrid getting pissed is fun. This part of the movie can also be useful for up-and-coming editors. It uses basic filmmaking techniques and cuts to establish where we are on Berk, and uses a creative transition once in a while, like a match cut or dissolve. Plus, every clip is cut and arranged to match a section of the song in some way, which helps make the scene and the score more memorable. I believe that's all I can say for this one, so on to the next. Number 7, Stoics Rage. Otherwise known as Stoic Disowns Hiccup. Oh boy, what a great scene! You have Stoic furious at Hiccup, but thanks to a little extra confidence from Toothless, he actually stands up to him. Both people are emotionally giving their stances on the situation until Hiccup accidentally lets slip about the dragon nest. Blinded by his ambition and rage, Stoic leaves and says,
"You're not a Viking. You're not my son."
The single light source that illuminates our two characters also subtly lights the detail of the background, making the setting not only less boring, but keeps our focus solely on Stoic and Hiccup. Setting it in the Great Hall instead of the Chief's Hut is what helps gives the scene more of an impact, and probably wouldn't provide the same dramatic lighting as well as the space for such an emotionally driven scene. This is also the place where Stoic told Gobber his story about being a Viking, so saying this,
"You're not a Viking. You're not my son,"
in here is like adding insult to injury. And just when you think we're about to go to the next part, DreamWorks adds in this. That stumble, that look of shock as all the memories of what Stoic has experienced and what he just said to his son perfectly captures how broken a man who believes he lost everything looks. This makes him more human and not just a two-dimensional character. Had that moment not been added, this scene probably wouldn't have made the list. Number 6. Stoics Funeral. Proof that Disney is not the only company that can kill parents. In the aftermath of the Sanctuary battle, Drago's bewilderbeast becomes the new alpha and orders Toothless to kill Hiccup. Stoic takes the blast instead and is killed. A grief-stricken Hiccup yells at Toothless to go away, and he, along with all the other dragons, fall under control of the Alpha, as Drago's army head for Berk. The only thing the writers can do for now is give a funeral service for their fallen chief. Everyone is at their lowest point, none more so than Hiccup, who now is unsure of who he is. Volca comforts him and tells him how much his father believed in him when he was born, leading to probably one of the best lines from these films.
You have the heart of a chief and the soul of a dragon.
In her own way, she's telling Hiccup that he is the best of both worlds. Encouraged by his mother's words, Hiccup resolves to stop Drago, his army, and take back Berk. It's here that Hiccup finally understands the meaning of what Stoic told him.
A chief protects his own.
What really drives the emotion of this scene are the interactions with the characters, the music, which makes good use of bagpipes, and the cinematography. But for me, the one shot that stands out in this sequence is the tracking shot on Stoic's helmet. Fans will remember from movie 1 that both Stoic and Hiccup's helmet were made from Volca's breastplate as a way of keeping her close. This is showing us that even though their reunion was short-lived, he will still carry a part of her to Valhalla. It's little details like that that make scenes like this very memorable. Number 5. Test Drive. My biggest regret is not seeing these movies in 3D because the flying scenes are just amazing. While there are a lot of great flying scenes across both movies, many of us remember Test Drive. We're seeing the results of Hiccup's attempts at restoring Toothless's flight while also being right behind him, experiencing flight at the same time he is. Both the exciting and the frightening aspects of it. I have no doubt that everyone in the theater flinched when they saw that mountain suddenly appear behind Hiccup. Admit it, that freaked you out too! My favorite part is when the duo fly through the sea stack maze. There's some good metaphors in this scene, but this part I feel has a lot of depth to it. Not only does entering fog-covered sea stacks foreshadow finding the nest later in the movie, but it's symbolic of Hiccup's growth. He enters the maze the timid Viking he was trying to be, but emerges more confident and a Viking in his own right. This event is also what forces Hiccup, who normally relied on his mind to solve a problem, to rely on instinct and put his full trust in Toothless. And it goes without saying, the music is freaking awesome! It successfully captured the energy and excitement of being in the air going at high speeds. Surely this isn't the only great flight scene, right? Number 4. Astrid's Flight. From Astrid Goes for a Spin to Romantic Flight, this scene is meant to be a parallel to Test Drive from her point of view, as well as show the beginning romance between her and Hiccup. Whereas Test Drive was more about the excitement and danger of flying, Romantic Flight is more about the thrill and beauty of it, which is why it happens at golden hour, a time of day where the sun is not so harsh and casts a golden glow on everything. It's this time frame that adds the romance to the scene, and the aurora keeps it going when the lighting changes to night. But that's enough romance. What about the thrills? The 2 shots that stay locked on our main characters are really amazing. They make you feel like you're actually with them, that seeing this in 3D would totally be worth the motion sickness. Astrid screaming and Hiccup's comments while Toothless daredevils all over Berk is absolutely hilarious and gives us one of the most memorable quotes.
Thank you for nothing, you useless reptile.
Throw in a brilliant score by John Powell, and you have one of the most memorable romantic scenes in animation.
We need to get those two apart.
Number 3. Hiccup and Toothless versus Drago and the Alpha, or as I like to call this part, Ascension. In the third act of movie 2, Toothless is freed from the Alpha's control, reunites with Hiccup, and with complete trust in each other, separate Drago from his dragon. But just when you think it's all over, Drago's bewilderbeast recovers and encases our hero in ice, presumed dead. But then a blue glow ignites from within the icy tomb, growing brighter and brighter until it shatters in a great explosion, revealing Toothless glowing with newfound power, protecting Hiccup. Toothless battles the Alpha, freeing all the dragons and wounding it at the end. The Alpha submits to Toothless, and they retreat in defeat, while Hiccup is crowned the Chief of Berk just as Toothless is acknowledged as the new Alpha of Dragons. This moment not only shows the growth of these two characters, but how strong their bond really is from beginning to end. The fact that they both ascend to be leaders of their respective tribes reinforces the notion that where one goes, the other will follow. Loaded with lots of great shots and epic music, this was a great way to close the second movie. But this is only number 3 on the list. What could top this? Number 2, the entire third act of movie 1. The reason why I hold this above the end of movie 2 is the writing. All the plot threads come together and there was just more at stake in my opinion. You have Hiccup, who was just disowned earlier, and Stoic, who is sailing his entire tribe to their doom. Hiccup manages to teach the other teens to fly dragons in enough time to rescue everyone, and they use what they learn in dragon training against the Red Death. Father and son reconcile before Hiccup and Toothless fly off to battle. Using Toothless's stealth and speed to their advantage, the duo blasts holes in the gigantic dragon's wings, rendering it incapable of flying away when they ignite the fire in its throat, which results in a fiery explosion. During the battle, Toothless's tail fin catches fire and burns away before they both completely get away from the explosion. Hiccup gets knocked off, and Toothless chases after him just as they are both engulfed in the fiery cloud. Stoic finds Toothless, but with no Hiccup in sight. Believing his son to be dead, Stoic apologizes to the dragon for his mistakes, only for Toothless to reveal that he rescued his rider. Hiccup wakes up back on Berk to an overjoyed Toothless, and the war between dragons and Vikings over. This pattern of reunion, death, rebirth, and return occurs in both films, and they are an integral part of the hero's journey, a storyline that every narrative has used. But what the end of movie 1 has over the sequel is that Hiccup comes out with a prosthetic leg. It's this event that changes the entire dynamic of their relationship. In the beginning, Toothless relied on Hiccup to fly, but after the battle with the Red Death, now they depend on each other. It shows that their bond extends beyond master and pet. Number 1, Forbidden Friendship. Shocking, right? But can you blame me? This has got to be the most perfectly crafted scene in the entire series. No action, no flying, no dialogue. Our focus is solely on these two characters as they experience something truly amazing. The warm glow of the setting sun, John Powell's score, and the cinematography are what makes the scene so magical. The blurred background behind makes it look like they are in their own little world, never realizing that it will soon be shared with everyone. What I said earlier is what makes the How to Train Your Dragon series so memorable. The experience. Many of us have been with these characters for 10 years, through their high points and their lows. We watched them grow into their own, seen them at their best and their worst. And as we near the final chapter, a lot of us will be sad that the journey we went on with them is over. To us, How to Train Your Dragon is more than a trilogy, a television series, or a fantasy story. It's an experience, and it all started with one magical moment in the cove. Do you agree with this list? Leave a comment below, and please subscribe to my channel to see new videos. And if you're still interested in How to Train Your Dragon related content, please check out my buddy Ian's video about his thoughts on the franchise. See you next time!